the pressure, I think, for lots of disabled people, it feels like you are justifying, in some ways, being in the room, even applying in the first place. Your relationship with an assessor is not working out what your need is. It is justifying that you are applying for benefits in the first place, that you deserve to even be there. I think all of this is probably going to get worse when the pressure now is to reach an arbitrary fiscal figure on how many people don't get support anymore. That is going to get worse, and from our perspective, you can't undervalue how dangerous that is, right? The tangible effect of changes that are being proposed are pretty obvious, right? And you'd be naive to think that there is a level that you can already cut from the system that would be, I don't know, in some ways palatable or manageable. There's not. So these cuts are going to lead to deaths, most likely, right? It was the National Audit Office, 2020, at least 69 deaths by suicide as a result just of problems with benefit claims. And within that report, they spoke about it's probably quite a lot higher because of how the DWP failed to measure, and lots of other reasons why that already existing level of purely caused by the benefit system deaths is higher. It's quite likely that the way we're going, the trajectory is that will get worse. The assessments will get harder. The stress will be higher. And yeah, there is no way of sugarcoating that. I don't want anyone ever to think that their worth is dictated by whether or not they've got full-time paid employment, and that feels like the cut through from the Green Paper proposals is that you are eligible and deserving of support if you are working. If not, you are in some ways a different class of citizen, and that is incredibly distressing, and it's an experience that loads of disabled people I speak to all the time already experience, and we're just opening that up for more and more people. It is going to be very difficult to drastically improve the world of work for disabled people quickly and at the pace you'd need to even mitigate in little forms the Green Paper cuts. But one thing also just to remember, especially around the older cohort, is quite a lot of those people have been made unwell by work, right? A lot of the people who come up in that cohort is musculoskeletal as a result of working. So there has to be that consideration as well of like how are we through things like the Employment Rights Bill, making work safer for people, because you're going to just perpetuate this out and do it again. 1.1 million people are going to lose access to daily living. That took an FOI. That didn't, wasn't something the DWP were willing to share. That speaks to a process of reaching an arbitrary fiscal figure and working backwards. And from our perspective, like the whole process has been pretty, for want of a better word, like shambolic, right? Like we took ages and ages to get the different formats that disabled people need to engage with the paper. Yeah. And to be honest, those additional formats are just for the Green Paper and the consultation itself. It's got nothing to do with the additional evidence pack that realistically you need as an individual to be able to assess what the Green Paper is asking you. And paper is an important gateway for a lot of people to accessing, and in some ways validating their experiences and accessing further support. It's a worrying trajectory to be thinking about how can we make that harder for people. An assessment that's similar to the WCA, which we assume we'll get onto in a bit, is dehumanising, frustrating, scary fundamentally, and then to think we're going to make that harder is just, there's not a lot more to say on it.